Hi Flosstube, welcome to Once Upon a Stitch. I'm Lorre, and this is a channel regarding cross stitching and some other crafts that I might do occasionally that I'd like to share with you. I hope you had a very nice Thanksgiving for those of you who are celebrating. Ours was very quiet, but I have so much to be grateful for. My family, my friends, all of you who I consider my friends, and my life's journey, basically. So let's get on with some good news. I have ordered a new laptop for filming my Flosstube videos. I know some people have commented on the fan that goes off on this computer, well, it's a laptop, and sometimes the camera clicks in and out. So I'm hoping that it will take care of all those nuances that are just annoying. I know they're annoying, but we finally did order one, and hopefully this will be my last video on this laptop, and hopefully they'll be better. Anyway, I want you to know this is like the 4th or 5th time that I started this video, so I'm like all frazzled now because I don't know what I said and what I didn't say, so I'm gonna start from the beginning. About 2.5 years ago, maybe a little bit more, I was watching quilt videos, and a cross-stitch video popped up and says, oh, you might like this. And I think I've told this story in the past. And it was Carolyn Mazzio, an Australian cross-stitcher that I started binge watching and I enjoyed. And I says, you know what, I have some cross-stitch patterns that I've done, and not many. I did a few pieces, but I had some patterns that I had purchased at a store in Cape May, New Jersey, and I just never did anything with them. So by watching that video, I says, oh, I'm going to start cross-stitching. And this was the one that I decided to choose, and it's called Linden House. And this is a black and white pattern of it, and it's from Nancy Spruance Designs, and this was the color photo that was attached to it. That's a little bit, there you go. And basically I consider myself like a beginner and didn't know fabrics and what to choose, and so I think I had one of those tubes of Ada, and I opened it and I just started stitching. And I don't know what happened. I don't know if I had a split stitches and I wasn't happy with it. I just don't know. But this is how far I've gotten on it. And I just stopped. I think what happened was I started this in April, and then everybody was talking about Stitch Mania. You know, that doesn't look too bad on screen. None of the back stitching's in. So I might just finish it one day, because I started it. And Stitch Mania was starting, and everybody's talking about doing all these new starts. And I was like, okay, I'll do a new start. So May 1st came, and I took out, I think this was Country Cottage Gingerbread House. And I started stitching it, and then like I couldn't put it down. I know a lot of people are monogamous stitchers, and basically I think that's what I was. And so I couldn't put it down. And I stitched the whole thing, and I brought it back to Needleworkers Delight, and I says, I stitched, this was the first piece that I bought a pattern and threads and tried to make it work, and I think the fabric I still picked my own, and so I wasn't thrilled with it, and I brought it back to them, and I says, oh, but the snow doesn't show up, like it blends right into the background. So I picked up some blending filament and I put it in the snow sections. I'm probably not going to show here, but I made it into a little wall hanging. I didn't even know this was like a series of houses. So there's some snow on the bottom here, and there's snow on the roof. Some snowflakes in there, though it's really hard to see. So this is what really got me back into cross stitching. Even though like I dabbled in it, I wasn't into it, and I think I do this And I stay with more things if I know people are doing it with me, if I have a friend interested. And I had nobody years ago that was interested in crafting or in cross stitching. So sometimes I just waned off of what I was doing. But with Flosstube and making friends, and this really became my hobby and almost my obsession in the beginning. So in watching Lorre at Mischievous Stitches and all her beautiful samplers and things I would never have thought about stitching on, I said to her, where do I start with a sampler? And she said, start small. And I think this was a Little House Needleworks winter sampler. So this is what I did as what I considered my first sampler. And this is just a piece that I'm going to eventually put nicely to hang up on the wall as such. And that's my finished piece there. And I just want to show you that you never know what you're going to use. This is a candle, like a candle comes through the center of this, and then you have this wrapped around your candlestick holder. So, oops, I just took a leaf out. So anyway, I arrange it at the top of this when I hang it on the wall in the kitchen for the holidays, through winter actually. Okay, those were my prior finishes. Now, this was actually a prior finish, and I sort of FFO'd it, but I'm not really thrilled with the hanger. So I will work on the hanger, but I did put a tassel on the bottom, and the tassel is pretty much the color of the red in this. And this was the band sampler by Works by ABC. And I feel this red is too red. I wanted to get something like more of a burgundy red to match the stitching on this. And I went to Joann's, I went to Hobby Lobby. They didn't have anything. I'm just so anxious to get into Manhattan and go into those stores in the fashion area. They used to have so many trim stores and button stores, and then the pandemic arrived. This was another Works by ABC. This was Tiles. I forget the whole title of it, sorry. I'll put it in the description box. I think it's Tiles from 1603. They came with 6 tiles, and I chose this one, and to me they look like green pears. So I finished that. I put it in some bells. And then the final finish that I had this time was a Brenda Gervais Merry Christmas. That's the background fabric. And I have had some wool that I stitched on all around the pillow. And those are my previous finishes. Okay, whips. Bring the cart closer. At first I said I don't have many to show, but when I counted them out, I think they were 8 that I stitched on, which is like 16 days since we were together. So I stitched on the frosted pumpkin. The last time you saw it, I had stitched the January block. Oh, I forgot one more finish because I put it on the floor. And it is Baby, It's Cold Outside by Heartstring Samplery. And this will eventually sit on this board, but I don't have magnets strong enough. This is a heavy finish. And I scratched the board. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it, but I scratched it up in this corner with the sheet metal that's on the back of this piece. And I put a lot of sheet metal because I figured I'd catch magnets on, but I have to buy stronger magnets. So the next time my husband goes to Home Depot or Lowe's, I told him we need some heavy duty magnets. So that's the finish. And it's funny, I asked my husband what he thought about the black rickrack, and he goes, oh yeah, put it in. And I was like, I don't know. And I was having a Zoom meeting that night with my stitchy friends, and I said to them, oh, what do you think, the black rickrack or without? And they said the black rickrack. Sounds pretty good at telling me colors and things like that. I have to say, he does a much better job than me. So, so it's 3 sticky boards. I put some batting in the finished piece. I laced it. I did glue on the rickrack, and then I put this snowflake fabric, and then some black plaid. Finished it a la Priscilla and Chelsea. Okay, so now I showed you all my finishes. So back to whips. I was looking down here because I was looking to see if I had a piece of white sticky board to hold behind this. And what I did this time was Goldilocks and the 3 Bears, and I started, I believe that's Jack and the Beanstalk. And I think I mentioned it the last time I showed this to you. It's a couple of stitches this color, a couple of stitches that color, and I like stitching blocks of color. Okay, what did I stitch on next? Heartstring Samplery. Ooh, the whole thing shook. His eye is on the sparrow. And I believe that I am definitely going to finish this as a wall hanging quilt, if I ever finish it. But this is where I am at this point. Let's see. I stitched the horse, these flowers, and this. Is this? As I was stitching it, I had the name for it. Cartouche? Is that considered a cartouche? Or is it just the vine of circle vine? But I'm not going to put any information in there just yet. So those are the 3 things that I stitched this time. The horse, the flower, and I'll call it the cartouche because I like that word. I always enjoy hearing it when people are talking about it. I say, ooh, have I ever stitched any one of those? Maybe that is one. I know in some of the samplers that I'll be doing this upcoming year, they may have cartouche in them. Put the bottom of it in. I should have a bell. I have another finish. It's not fully finished. And that's Nora Corbett Geranium. I finally beaded it. I put a lot of less beading than was called for, but I'm happy with the way it's finished. Let's see if I can put some things. I don't know if this is going to work. Let's see. I outlined her face, her arms, her legs, and then put in all the beads. And this was done on Ice Blue Dynasty, I think it was called, by, I got it at Needleworkers, and it's a 28 count Lugana. So, finish that one. So that made it, you can't see it, it's on my dresser there. I had a list of the Stitch 10 for the Stitch 10 challenge, though I never entered them that I was going to finish them or not. It was just for my own, giving myself incentive of trying to finish them. So now I finished all 10. I finished more than that, but I did finish the 10 that I wanted to finish for the year. I picked up Rosewood Manor Buckleberry Sampler. And this is another piece where, I mean, sometimes you get some sections of color of stitching, but it's a lot of changing of colors. And I didn't get much completed on this. I got the vine from here to the end, and what happened was I started here and I started this way and I was like, uh-oh, it might not meet up. And then I went back here and went this way and it did meet up, so I was very happy. And then when I took it off the Q-snap for the night, I said, something doesn't look right. And what I had forgotten was this little flower in here. So I said, okay, the next day, my second day, I'll put that back in, or put it in. So I finished that. I came down and did the O. I went over here, and the J is not finished. There's more. There's another flower like this here, and there's more to the J. But that was already stitched, and then I started in here, in this motif here. But this was, the second day was during a Zoom meetup, and because of the constant changing and everything, I stopped stitching. And I said, well, I'm just going to sit here and listen to them and talk with them, but don't tell anybody. They all know. I fell asleep. I nodded off. Oh my gosh, how embarrassing. But I had gotten up at 5:30 that morning. I had Caleb for the whole day. And this was like maybe 10 o'clock at night, and my eyes were tired from that piece, and I must have nodded off for, I don't know how long, maybe 10 minutes, maybe 5. I'm not really sure, but when I was waking up, everybody was saying goodnight. I did get a chance to say goodnight to them. Okay. The next one I worked on was Red Rooster Inn, and I had told you that I was not going to stitch the alphabet, the numbers. I was just going to move that bottom border up, which I did, and I have a finish. And the year was, and this is 1811. And I put down the year that we got married. And there's my Red Rooster Inn, and it's 1979. You do the math. So I'm happy with the way that came out, and once I have it finished, I think I measured it, but I don't remember what it measured. Hopefully I'll be able to put it in a frame and hang it in the kitchen. That's the plan. You know, I'm thinking, I says, oh, I have 2 more finishes that were in here in the bags of what I've worked on, so I'll have empty bags. I had them all filled, and I was looking for more at one point. I picked up, oops, I showed the pattern maybe, Halloween Quaker, and I left this on here. This is the fabric that needleworkers dyed for me, and they called it Halloween Quaker. So it's a 28 count Lugana, and what did I stitch? I don't think I stitched much on this either. I think I stitched this. Oh, and I went up here. That's what I did. I stitched this motif with the candy corn, and I went up to the cats. And I had another motif here that I really wanted to put in, but I didn't have the thread for it. I ran out of the thread. And I think when I went to order it, everybody was out of it, so I'll try again. Eventually, it'll come back in. And the last whip that I worked on, which was up to last night, was Once in a Blue Moon, Calico Confectionery. My friend Helen gifted this to our group. And this is where I got to. So what I did was I finished the cat. The cat was only up to about here, done. So I did the whole cat, brought down the borders, a blue, and I started the pumpkin. And so I have to do the pumpkin's mouth, and then I'll fill in with the orange. And it's funny, when I was looking at this last night, these two, this is done on 16 count shale by Picture This Plus. These sections that have a little jut out there and on this side, at first I thought they weren't similar, and I'm counting and counting, and I go across, and They are, but the way I guess it was in the Q-snap, it looked like it wasn't even. So, but I took it off, I counted, I recounted, I went across the line. Yeah, it's the same. It doesn't look bad on screen, but when it was in the Q-snap, it might have been a little askew. Okay, the rest of this in here is going to be my new starts and my whips for December. I just want to make some room here so I can show you a little bit of haul that I have. I have some patterns I picked up. I think these were all picked up from Needleworkers. The first one is, I don't know if I showed you this one, so that's why it's Abbey Rose Merry Christmas. I saw a lot of people working on this and I love it. No, I won't be doing it for this Christmas, though I wish I were. Then I bought a pattern, Cuore e Batticuore, Heart and Heartbeat, basically, and they're little angels. Let's see. Creation, no, that's, of course, Cuore di Angelo, Heart of the Angel, is the name of the pattern. And I think maybe this will be one of my mania starts. Picked up Jolly Claus and Merry Mrs. Claus from Priscilla, Stitching with the Housewives, actually. And I hope to start that during Mania. And then I also bought the Gingham Greetings 1 and 2. And the last pattern is Winter Rose Manor by Brenda Gervais. I have it. When I decide to start it, I'll have it. That's how I looked at it. I bought some 16 count black Aida. I'm going to give it a shot again. I bought this Aida before and I couldn't see, I couldn't stitch. I gave it away. So I decided to try it again. And then I just bought some Classic Colorworks threads that I needed, and I purchased a Gloriana silk in pomegranate, I think it is, pomegranate, Gloriana silk. I wanted to give that a try. And that's it for, oh, one more thing. I bought a subscription to Punch Needle and Primitive Stitcher, and I absolutely love this Cecilia Turner piece. And I know everybody's doing it and talking about it, but I'm not going to start anything new, so she says, other than the 4 that I have slated to start today. Well, one of them for 2 days and so forth. And that'll be shown to you in the next video. What I'm also going to do is I'm going to get my tablet and I'm going to video a box of Christmas finishes that I've done in the past. And like I said, I don't have many because I'm not stitching that long, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to videotape it, and when I see my son Michael, he has put a software program on that laptop where I could fool with it, and I'm going to see if I can work with it and play with it and see if I get comfortable with a software program, because a lot of times, plus I can pause it there instead of like on my laptop, I just have stop, and once you stop you can't, I don't have a program that I can put videos together. So I'm going to see if I can just get better at doing this for you so that you can enjoy it more smoothly, I guess. Anyway, I know everybody has been putting their Christmas decorations up earlier than usual because of the year that we've been having. And see, I feel the complete opposite. I get to the point of, oh, I don't want to decorate. I don't want to put decorations up, but I put the lights up on the tree. We put our village out. I haven't put any of my cross stitch out yet. I wanted to try this videoing it first, and then I'll start adding it to the tree. It's a small tree this year. Yeah, I'm having a little, we don't know what's going to happen, if we get to see family members or not. So I'm kind of like a little bummed of what the future might hold. I guess now I'm looking at things as my cup is half empty. Usually I'm the type of person that loves to think of my cup half full. Enough said. So, in being nostalgia of how my Christmases used to be and how I would love it to be again, I started thinking of some nostalgia stuff. And one of the things came to mind was, what was your favorite television show? No, not show. Movie. Like when they had a movie on TV, and sometimes they only showed it once or twice in the lifetime of that movie. And I remember growing up, I loved Richard Chamberlain. He was Dr. Kildare on TV, but he was in The Thornbirds. He was in Shogun. And I loved those movies. I believe at that time I might have taped them on my VCR, and I would watch it over and over again, especially The Thornbirds. I think if I had to pick one, it would have been The Thornbirds. I wasn't an avid reader. I wish I were. When I became older, I read a little bit, but not as much as I really wished I could, because a lot of times when I say to myself, oh, I'm reading, but I could be doing this, or I can be doing that. Or if I'm not doing any of that, those are the times that I do read. Anyway, that's enough of that. I'm going off on a tangent. The reason I'm talking about this is because I'm going to do a giveaway. And the giveaway, please don't say giveaway in your comments if you're interested. Or if you're not interested, don't say giveaway. But I'm going to do 2 giveaways. And the first one is Basket of Red, White, and Blue by Shakespeare's Peddler. And I figured I'm not doing Christmas holiday now, because this way you have time to finish it for like Memorial Day, Labor Day, Veterans Day, the 4th of July. So you have that one. And then I'm also giving away Welcome Summer. The buttons are not in this package, but the pattern shows you that you can stitch, like for instance, it's this little birdhouse here and the sign here. Oops, right there. There were 2 buttons that came in this. There's no buttons in here, but the pattern shows you that you can stitch it in. So if you're interested in this, you will say stars. And if you're interested in the Puntini Welcome Summer, you will say sand. And the question is, which is or was your favorite TV movie of all times? It could be any movie at all. Just out of curiosity, I'd love to hear it. Maybe some of you are not familiar with the Dr. Kildare. I'm sure a lot of you are not familiar with Dr. Kildare. I was maybe 10, 11, 12 maybe when that came out. So it was a long time ago. And there was another doctor show called Ben Casey. And it was either you were a Ben Casey fan or you were a Dr. Kildare fan. And which was Richard Chamberlain. And I had this thing for him growing up. And I loved him in The Thornbirds. So that was mine. The giveaway will end December 8th, which is a week from today, at midnight Eastern Standard Time. And tell me what your favorite movie was or is, and of TV time. Not that it was is in Netflix, even though some of them I think they have old movies on there, but I hope you like understanding what I'm putting out there as far as the movies. But whatever, as long as you tell me a movie that you absolutely loved, I'll consider your response interested for a giveaway. If you say Sand or Store or both. Don't say giveaway. You must be 18 years or older. You must be willing to give me your address so I can mail it to you. And the reason I'm asking for it to end on the 18th, on the 8th, December 8th, is because even though I'm not going to do a video to maybe the 15th or so, which is a Tuesday, which will be two weeks from today, I will contact the person either the 9th or the 10th that they won the giveaway, try to get their address and get it in the mail to them so that they can have it before Christmas. That's my plan. And I'm going to stick to it, God willing. So that's it for today. I hope you had a nice time with me. I hope you subscribe to my channel if you're new. I hope you give me a thumbs up. And I hope you come back next time and see the new starts that I'm going to have. 4 new starts for December. And then I will, I talked about a whip parade. And with the 4 starts, I'm going to have 17 whips carrying over to January. So I'm going to show you what I stitch up until whatever day I video, and then maybe I'll show you the rest of my whips. One of them is going to be a trash. It's going to be a start over eventually, but not anytime soon. You'll have to stick around, see which one I'm talking about. All right, until next time, stay safe, and I'll see you around the middle of December. Take care, guys. Love you.